What's up, Totem Nation? This is Lambo and Matt's World of Sports coming at you with another recruiting trail episode. This one is episode 30. We are getting into the Michigan Wolverines class of 2024 recruits so far, or their commits so far, I should say. They're the 15th ranked class in the country, fourth in the Big Ten, and they have 25 commits as of right now. Thank you always to Sideline Sports Network for the platform. And if you want to help the boys out by getting some merch, the link is in the ticker, totempolnation.com. Let's get into it. All right, like I mentioned, this is the 15th ranked class in the country, the fourth in the Big Ten. They are composed of 25 commits, 17 of them being 4 stars, 8 being 3 stars. And we're going to start off by getting into their top 5 commits as of right now. And that will begin with a 4-star offensive tackle, Andrew Sprague, 6'8", 295, big boy from Rockhurst High School in Kansas City, Missouri. He's the 55th ranked player nationally, the 4th ranked offensive tackle, and the 3rd best player in the state of Missouri. He got picked to be on the All-American Bowl roster, and he's also a very good basketball player as well, as you could imagine, being 6'8", 300 pounds. Number 2 on their list is a 4-star quarterback, Jaden Davis, 6 foot, 200 pounds from Providence Day School in Charlotte, North Carolina. The 111th player nationally, 9th ranked quarterback, and the 3rd player in North Carolina. Also picked to the All-American Bowl roster. He was a selection to the Elite 11 final roster as well. He also was named North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year and Max Prep's North Carolina Player of the Year. Last year, he threw for 3,400 yards with a 43-6 touchdown to interception ratio, as well as completing 72.5% of his passes. The guy is just a stud. Next up is a 4-star running back, Jordan Marshall, 5'10.5", 190 from Archbishop Moeller in Cincinnati, Ohio. 145th ranked player nationally, the 9th ranked running back, and 5th player in the state of Ohio. All of the evaluations on 24/7 Sports point to him being a consistent Power 5 back. And I forgot to preface this, so let me do it now, a few players into the video. All of these recruiting stats are coming from 24/7 Sports. You can see it there in the slideshow. So if there are players that are ranked higher or lower on On3 or on Rivals or whatever, just let me know in the comments. These recruiting trail videos I have been going off of 24/7 Sports. So if there's a difference on another platform, let me know, put it in the comments, and be happy to hear it. So after this running back and Jordan Marshall, there's a 4-star tight end, Hogan Hansen. Hogan Hansen is 6'6", 220 from Bellevue High School in Bellevue, Washington. He's the 147th ranked player nationally, the 10th ranked tight end, and the 2nd ranked player in Washington. He was picked to be on the Polynesian Bowl roster. He's already used to being a blocker in his high school's current scheme and is good at it. A lot of tight ends, when they're going to college, that's a big adjustment for them, learning how to block at a Power 5 level, which I'm not saying he's going to be great at the Power 5 level immediately, but he has been a tight end for years. He's not a converted receiver, and he still has reliable hands and is a good route runner. So all around great pickup at the tight end spot. Rounding out their top 5 is a 4-star corner, Josiah Edmond, 6'1", 180 from Northwood High School in Napanee, Indiana. Excuse me for pronouncing that wrong. I'm sure I did. 152nd ranked player nationally, the 13th ranked cornerback, and the 3rd player in Indiana. He was selected to be on the All-American Bowl roster as well as like 3 of these other top 5 commits. So going into their just depth chart notes, really. The QB room most likely loses J.J. McCarthy to the draft, but the room is deep behind him, and they added Jaden Davis, as I mentioned above, a very, very good 4-star quarterback. Running back room is losing Blake Corum, but there's an army of running backs behind him, plus the addition of Jordan Marshall, as I listed above as well. Obviously, keeping the trenches beefed up is Michigan football to a T, right? That's Big Ten football to a T, really. It's one in the trenches. Michigan had those shirts a few years ago, run the damn ball, which is why they have 5 O-line commits, 3 of them being 4 stars, and 5 D-line commits, one of them being a 4-star, and 3 of them are borderline 3-star, 4-star guys. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of them got the bump up to the 4-star level. And essentially every position is deep. Michigan is obviously a top school for a reason. They have experienced seniors and grad students starting, and they have a plethora of young options behind them as well. You could say that the DB room could use a little bit more help, but adding Josiah Edmond pretty much negates that. He fills in, the gap that I think would be left on the depth chart. It wouldn't even be, in a starting lineup or anything. So starting wise, Michigan is fine. That's no surprise there. And I found this pretty interesting. And this isn't a negative thing, they have no loyalty to specific states when it comes to recruiting. This class currently has commits from 16 different states and, different caliber schools, obviously. But if you watch the Texas Tech episode, they had 20 commits and all 20 of them are in the state of Texas. Now, obviously, I'm not saying Michigan needs to, hound every single commit out of Michigan. It's obviously not as deep as Texas is, but I will say that it was interesting to see that they don't really care where it's coming from, regardless of, the top recruits are coming out of Cali, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. They're just picking the top guys from state to state. Like they have the best QB in North Carolina, the 3rd best player in North Carolina in general, 5th in Ohio, 2nd in Washington, 3rd in Indiana, 3rd in Missouri. Like they've just got top 5 guys from, state to state to state. And that's why they have 16 different states represented in a recruiting class that has, 25 guys. So all in all, we'll have to see what, obviously long-term results of the scandal and everything going on. We've seen in similar situations where, well, I don't know if there's anything similar to this, shit show that's been going on, but in kind of similar situations, we have seen more punishments around like taking away scholarships, taking away trophies and stuff like that. So trophies, whatever, that doesn't have anything to do with recruiting, but taking away scholarship players or scholarships to give to players is huge if that is the punishment that the NCAA decides to give to Michigan. I don't know enough details to actually go into all of that. And if you have more insight, let me know in the comments. But we'll have to see if that has a long-term effect on this recruiting class and recruiting classes in the future. But considering what we have on the screen here, what I've showed you guys, I don't think Michigan's, taking a step in the wrong direction at all. They're obviously a powerhouse. They're going to remain a powerhouse. And that's really all I've got in episode 30 for the Michigan Wolverines recruiting class. Thank you again to Sideline Sports Network for the platform. Thank you to Totem Pole Nation. Thank you to everyone who watched. And if you want a school, we are 30 episodes into this after this episode. If you want a school that we haven't done yet, or update on a school that we have done previously, let us know in the comments, because all ears for recommendations and stuff. Next video, I will be getting into the Washington Huskies recruiting class. So if you wanted to check that out, that's going live in like 5 minutes. And other than that, have a good day, have a good Thanksgiving, and be safe.